Why hello there everybody, this is XB Walker, or Kai Kurita is my name in game, and I wanted to give you guys a quick run through of what you need to do in order to make a massive amount of XP over the shortest time possible, at least as of today, which is October 14th, 2021. I'm going to show you how to make as much XP as possible in as short of an amount of time as possible in order to get yourself to 60. If you're just trying to get to 60 as quick as possible and not really experience the content, this is probably going to be the best way to do it, or one of the best ways to do it. I got to 60 in a couple weeks, which isn't as fast as some, but I also have a life and wife and kid and stuff like that, so not bad if I do say so myself. So what I'm going to do, first you're going to want to make sure that you have your crafting skills up fairly high as possible. But even if you're a lower level character, let's say like a 20 or a 30 level, no big deal. You can still do this at a low level. You're just going to have to get those crafting skills up, which the cool thing about doing town mission quests is you're going to get those skills up anyway as you're doing them. One of them, for example, is weaponsmithing. You're going to get your weaponsmithing skill up very quickly. Another one is, cooking. If you do them, we'll explain that in a minute here. Mining is another one that you're going to get up rather rapidly. Fishing, if you choose to do the fishing quests. Tracking and skinning. Logging, harvesting, leatherworking, woodworking, smelting, stone cutting, weaving. All these skills down here especially are going to get leveled by doing town quests. So not only are you getting XP and money, you're getting all these moved up, as well as weaponsmithing and arcana as well in cooking. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, I'm level 60 as you watch my screen now, but I'm going to show you what the town board does. Now, I have high level crafting skills, so a lot of these missions are very well paying. Yours are not going to be so good if you're starting out, but just stick with it and they will get better and better and pay out more and more. All right, so going through the list, there are hunting quests, which usually pay about 500 XP or less. Not a big deal. They're not too bad. I would definitely take these every time because you can kill things as you're out doing other quests. So, for example, hunt lynx. I live in Monarch's Bluff, so lynx, for instance, would be over here at Ophal Grotto. If you live in Windsward, I think you also go to Ophal. I'm not sure where they are on First Light, but you could figure that out using a map tool online. Making strong potions, in my case. Your case might be weak potions if you are lower level. It just these missions depend on your crafting levels. So in this case, that's 1,000 XP. So that's pretty easy if you have the materials. I usually skip these explorers ones unless they happen to be in an area where I need to go gather some of this stuff anyways. Then it's a real quick, free bit of XP. Especially at a lower level, these are good to take because they're going to get your combat up. They're going to get your weapon experience up, and you get to loot chests. Hunting large amounts of animals, for example 20 goats, usually I'll skip these kind because I'm trying to do time versus XP. But if you're in an area where you know there's going to be a lot of these, go ahead and take them. Flint is the easiest one in the game. They're literally everywhere. They're all over the ground, so you just pick them up and sell them. They're all along the beaches and waterways especially, as well as in the water. Now these are the ones I'm talking about for weaponsmithing. These are some of the best quests that you can take from a town board. This requires weaponsmithing. It doesn't really require a level of any sort, but it pays out 1,260 XP, and also every one of these you make will pay out about a level or two of weaponsmithing. You'll get that instantly from making these. They just take some iron ore, a little bit of wood, and sometimes some hides or sometimes some leather. Nothing that's too difficult to make. Everything that's available right outside your town if you just spend 2 minutes cutting it down, chopping it up, and so on. Alchemist missions, again, weak potions, very easy to do, 300 XP, so long as you have briar bulbs. And hunting small amounts of creatures, like 10 rabbits, I would usually take this quest because while I'm out doing other things, I'm going to find rabbits everywhere and just kill them as I go. Lodestone bricks, 2,920 XP, so almost 3,000 XP for these. This is because I've got a fairly high mining and stone cutting skill, that's why this pops up. And then fish oil. Now, there's some debate out there whether fish-related skills are needed, or fish-related quests. A lot of people say just skip the fishing quests. It's really up to you. I think it's not a bad idea to do these if you like to fish. But if you're fishing in order to gather enough for this, it's not worth your time. It's more like if you've gone fishing in the past and you've gathered up a whole bunch of stuff for this, then yeah, go ahead and do it. Another way people do it is if they have money in their inventory. I don't have too much down here, but if you've saved up a lot of money, you can cheat. Well, not cheat, but you can fast track a lot of these quests and just buy the things you need. Like, for example, 15 lodestone bricks. Let's say I don't want to go out, chop a ton of stone, turn it into stone, then stone bricks, and then lodestone bricks using all that sandpaper. Or is it solvent? I can't recall. But say I don't want to do that, and I just want to get my 15 lodestone bricks and just get my instant 3000 XP. If I have the money, I can look up lodestone bricks. There they are. There's none for sale here in Monarchs, probably because everyone else is doing the same thing. But if I go to all settlements, there's some for sale for $4.95 a piece over in Windsward. So I would just click this. Let's say I want to buy all of them. It's going to cost me this amount. It's different for you depending on what server you're playing on or what time of day it is or how heavily they tax their sales. But this is a quick way to make XP, is especially if you find lodestone bricks or star metal ingots for super cheap. Now, if I went to, let's say, another city, so we'll go to First Light in this case because they should have completely different quests. Each city has different quests as long as they have a governor who's actively updating the town projects, which usually governors are doing just because otherwise they look bad and they'll get attacked by other factions who want to take over. So if you have good governors, these quests should be almost always active. And let's go over here. We're in, where are we? First Light. Where am I going? Jeez, it's up here. Okay, so First Light. The town quest board is up this little stairway over here on the north side of town. Every town is basically, its town quest board and its city hall are uphill from wherever everything else is, as a general rule. All right, so it looks like First Light, they haven't activated all their new projects, but you can see here 50 stone blocks, 780 XP. That doesn't sound like a lot, but this is very easy to collect. And the great part about doing town missions is you're gaining XP while you're gathering, and you're getting XP for turning all this in, and you're getting territory standing, which increases your gathering speed. Also, you can spend that territory standing on all sorts of other things, XP gain and everything. Now, there's cooking quests. For example, carb stockpiles pays 3000 XP, and dried meat samples pays 300. So this carb stockpiles, now this is the reason most people say do not do cooking quests, because you probably won't have the supplies to cook. And that's true. Some of you, though, might be the kind who are constantly out gathering herbs, so you might have what you need in order to finish your quest. So what you're going to do is, what I usually do is I grab the food quests and I see what I need to make it. For example, this one, pork and salt. I know that salt is very hard to find. It's a very rare resource, and you generally want to hold on to it for late game food items. So I would just dump this quest, especially because it only pays 300 XP. Carb stockpiles requires potatoes, pasta, bread, pastry crust, and just to make bread I need yeast and all this stuff. So these do pay out really well, but you have to kind of be the person who is constantly cooking anyway and has a ton of supplies. So 90% of the time I usually skip and cancel those particular quests unless they happen to require food that is very easy to make and is just a quick payout. Those do happen sometimes. You get meat ones where you just make sausage and stuff, and you get like 3k XP. So I'm going to cancel these. Also, I'm level 60, so I don't need the XP. Tadpoles is another fishing related one, pretty good XP. Most of the fishing related quests pay out pretty great XP because they know it takes you a lot of time, but still that is not as quick as just doing kill missions, as in kill animals, gathering missions, as in gather wood, stone, or whatever it asks you to gather, and then low-level building missions such as iron ingots, lodestone bricks, regular stone bricks, stone blocks, all that stuff. So what you want to do now, you might be wondering, how do I get? I've earned about 5 levels a day doing this, which doesn't sound like much, but man, when you get to the higher levels, you'll see that's a lot. The way that I do that is I go between 3 towns. Now on my server, I'm a marauder, so we own 3 territories here: Monarch's Bluff, Windsward, and First Light. And there's two ways to do it. I can either fast travel between these three if I have the Azoth to spend, or I can run between these three and turn in my quests as I go. There's two ways to do that. One is you can do corruption, which gives you tons of Azoth and also really great XP. And then you can do your fast traveling, or you can just run manually there and gather everything on your way. Again, it's totally dependent on how you play the game. So here is Windsward. This is our other capital city, I'd say, for our server. And this one requires lumber, 1380, 5 wild bison, 690, 20 light rations. These kinds, like making rations, you should definitely take. They're very easy to do and cheap, and they pay out. Again, armor smithing and armor smithing, these are both awesome. They're very easy to craft, and they give you a ton of weaponsmith experience. Another lumber quest for 2000 XP. Lumber's super easy to make once you can chop down aged wood. And then another weaponsmithing quest for 1800 XP. And if I want, I could do potions. Myself, I live in Monarch's Bluff, so there's not a lot of briars, so I don't get the materials for potions very often, so I tend to skip these. Depending on where you live, this might be a really good quest to take. So if I combine all three cities, on a good run, I can make 10 to 20,000 XP going between the three cities and turning in all my missions at once. At a higher level, like in your 40s and 50s, you could make 30 to 40,000 XP depending on how good your town board missions are. Or what I was doing is I was grabbing missions here from Ebon Scale as well, and I was going 1, 2, 3, 4, turning them into all 4 territories and getting massive dumps of XP, 30 to 40,000 a run. And it takes about 40 to 80,000 depending on your level in order to level. So one run could be one level. And if you're really fast, you can do 4 to 5 of those in a day easily, and then catch up with all your side quests and story quests to go for another free level. Okay, so to show you that, to show you how quick that XP actually is, I'm going to show you a clip here from when I had been playing this and leveling. So you can't really see me leveling now. I'm already at 60, but let me show you what happens when you turn all these missions in at the same time. So as you can see, it is incredibly high paying. It pays out a ton of XP, not a lot of money. It's not a good thing to earn money. You're going to go broke doing this constantly, especially if you're buying from the trading post. But the payout in XP, if you're looking to just level as quick as possible, then this is the way to go. The other way is doing all your side quests and all of your missions, but again, you're gonna have to fight, and that takes a lot of time. It's good for weapons XP, but maybe not so good for time versus XP. I haven't found any other way to really level up as fast as this, aside from getting in a really good corruption group and just doing corruption for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Technically, corruption is just as fast as doing town quests, but the downside to doing corruption is you're not getting any crafting levels, you're not getting any gathering, you're not really getting anything except combat XP. And that might sound great for all you PvPers out there, but this game is just as dependent on crafting and gathering as it is on PvP, which I think is great. It's an awesome mix. Anyway, guys, that is it. That is how I leveled to 60. Not first. I wasn't the first on the server, but I was definitely one of the early ones. I'd say one of the first 10 to 20 guys on our server who made it to 60. So if you want to do the same and you feel like you're just kind of dragging along in the levels, then that is the way to go. It is a little tedious, but it's less tedious in my opinion than doing corruption for 10 hours a day. So I will see you guys out there in the field, and you know, subscribe and all that crap. And yeah, I don't spend much time saying like and subscribe, because if you really like me, you'll do it yourself, and I don't have to tell you. See you guys next time.